Bob Pittman became a household media name when he helped found MTV back in the day. He went on to run media and entertainment companies like AOL, Six Flags, and Time Warner. Now he's turned his attention to what some might call an unlikely place, radio giant Clear Channel Communications. As the chairman of Clear Channel's media and entertainment platforms, he's hoping to, once again, change the game with a new web-based music service called iHeartRadio. iHeart will launch with a star-studded concert event in Las Vegas this fall, featuring artists like Lady Gaga and the Black Eyed Peas. Bob joins us now from Los Angeles. So, Bob, no question, this is an awesome lineup. I'm sure your friends are going to be hounding you for tickets, but I want to talk about iHeartRadio. You say consumers are going to have more control. What exactly does that mean? Does it mean they're going to be able to pick songs or skip songs unlike they can do in Pandora?
Well, let me put it in perspective first. We have 237 million monthly listeners to the radio, and all of digital for everybody, including Pandora, iHeartRadio, which is already in existence, rebroadcasting our existing stations online, is only 3% of all radio listening. So it is tiny today. We're betting that it will be bigger. The good news is also it looks to be additive. The people who use online radio, even people who use satellite radio, use more broadcast radio than the average person. So they're buying it to get more choice, not to replace broadcast radio. All of those things, a very good fact set. As we look at iHeartRadio, though, what we've announced that we're adding is a new version of iHeartRadio, which will keep this wonderful iHeartRadio we already have going, which is doing quite well, thank you very much. But we're going to add to it a custom radio piece like a Pandora, which isn't quite radio. It's more like creating a playlist by putting in a song and making it easy to build the playlist. And when we do that, we're going to make it completely integrated, which no one's doing. A completely integrated service where you go back and forth between real radio stations and your custom radio stations that you build. We think that in itself is a big plus. Plus, we're going to have about 10 times the number of songs Pandora has. I think they have about 1 million songs. We'll probably have about 10 million songs in our library. So if you're there for discovery, we'll have a lot more. We'll have, and we're not ready to preview it yet, we'll have some elements which give you more control than a Pandora in terms of what comes out of that playlist you create. And through the end of this year, we're going to run no commercials on our custom streams, which again I think is a terrific addition. And of course, what we have that no one else has is we have the promotional power of all of our radio stations, 850 in 150 cities, and all of our syndicated product as well, to be able to push against the power of iHeartRadio to launch it. So we're not going to come out of the box trying to build awareness. We're starting with this unbelievable music festival in Vegas. It's the biggest I've been associated with since MTV when we did Live Aid. So I go back to something like that, and that was really our model, and said we had to do something that's that magical, that over the top. So we're going to come out of the box using this tremendous promotional power to push this digital product. So if digital listening is only 3% today, the only way it's going to get higher is if we make it higher.
So, Bob, Pandora, though, does have huge penetration already in mobile. How do you plan to penetrate smartphones and tablets and get consumers to listen to radio there?
Well, actually, it's not compared to everything. None of us have huge penetration of mobile yet. We hope to have it, and I'm sure Pandora does too. We've had 30 million downloads to iHeartRadio product already. When we launched iHeartRadio, which doesn't have the custom solution with it yet, on the iPad, it was, for the first couple of weeks, got up to the #1 music app, and I think got as high as the #3 free app. So, look, we're in the game. We all think it's great. But I think we all have to be careful and realistic that this game is just beginning. This is not like other businesses where digital has run away from the business. This is one in which this business actually is going to have to promote digital to bring it along, which we intend to do, and we think it can be profitable for us. However, unlike other businesses, this is just an add-on to our business today, which is really about providing a service to our consumers, whether they come to it through broadcasting or through the internet or through mobile. It's still these brands they know and love. Z100 New York, Kiss FM in LA, KFI in LA. It's these brands people know and love. We're just making sure our listeners can get it no matter where they are or when they want it.
All right, Bob, I want to bring in our editor-at-large, Cory Johnson, who's been looking at Clear Channel's business and wondering how you plan to monetize this. Cory?
Yeah, Bob, when we talked, I was talking earlier about Pandora, and one of the struggles they're facing is the CPM, the value they receive for, let's call it, a minute worth of advertising online versus on mobile. And, you know, you're sitting on your computer desktop, you see an ad pop up. That's worth more to an advertiser. At least advertisers pay more for that than they're willing to pay for a minute online when someone's listening to it on mobile. Do you expect that trend to continue, that mobile ads will be worth less than ads at the desktop?
Well, for us, I don't think it's quite that simple. For us, we don't necessarily have to have any of these pieces in themselves be standalone businesses, because we're in such a broad business. And and the analogy we use internally a lot is one I brought to it, which is the old AOL Instant Messenger. In my days at AOL Instant Messenger was wildly popular, but we didn't make any money on AOL Instant Messenger. We never could figure out how to make money. It was not a freestanding business. So we have the luxury of being able to find things like custom radio, or maybe something like turntable FM, which is people are playing around with, social radio, and add this to our offering. It makes the whole package bigger and more important. It makes people love our radio stations more. It causes them to love Clear Channel platform more, but we may not make specifically money off that particular addition to it. And I think that's sort of the uniqueness of Clear Channel. And also today, with this announcement we did, first time in the history of radio that anyone's roadblocked the media. 850 stations. Between the teasers last week and the announcement today, we reached about 100 million people. And to us, that's what we're really playing for, is this big platform.
Maybe at least that many watching us right now, I can only hope. Bob, when you look at Pandora, me too, more than you do even, Pandora right now is limiting their advertisements to 1 per hour. Do you think if they increase that will hurt their business? And do you look at that as a model?
Well, you know, look, it's hard to opine on somebody else's business. I think when you're doing a playlist, which is in essence what we'll be doing with the custom radio and what Pandora is doing. It's not really radio. It's not curated. It's not dynamic. There are not personalities there to guide you through it, not local news information. But it's unknown as to whether, when I'm listening to a playlist, as if I'm listening to my iPod on a playlist, that suddenly a commercial pops in, as to whether that's intrusive, whether people will accept that. We know they know it's a part of radio and it's an accepted part. We don't yet know the other, and I think time will tell, and we'll watch it closely, and I'm sure they are too.
Bob Pittman, chairman of Clear Channel Media Entertainment, thank you so much for joining us. Also, I wanted to say congratulations. I know the 30th anniversary of MTV is coming up, so I'm sure you'll be celebrating that.
We're planning a big party.
Well. Wonderful. All right.